Greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to y'all as the Big D. So now I'm going to bring to you another review in the Jumanji series. Well, although this doesn't contain any connection to it, but it was marketed as taking place within the same fictional universe as the movie. It's Zathura from 2005. This was released a decade after Jumanji came out. Based on the children's book of the same name that came out 3 years before that by Chris Van Allsburg, the same guy who wrote Jumanji. Anyway, it is considered the second installment of the series of the Jumanji franchise, although that claim is discouraged by the director of the movie, which happens to be Jon Favreau, who of course would later go on to direct the first two Iron Man movies, as well as The Jungle Book, and more recently, The Lion King. Now, of course, I know he directed this after he did Elf, which, as I recall, came out a couple years before this did. Now, I kind of have a little bit of nostalgia for this, but I've only seen this 2 or 3 times, so bear with me, okay? Now, the story revolves around 2 young brothers named Walter and Danny Budwing, who play a mysterious board game they find in the basement of their house. And it teleports them and their older sister Lisa into outer space, where they encounter an astronaut who mentors the siblings on survival and finishing the game so they can return home. Now, playing Walter is Josh Hutcherson, who, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that, I think it was the same year, I may be wrong, that he also starred in Bridge to Terabithia, and he also went on to star in RV, as well as the Hunger Games franchise. Playing the astronaut, who it turns out to be, well, I won't spill too much on this yet, is Dax Sheppard, who, of course, was, or I don't know if he still is, married to a certain Kristen Bell. Playing Danny is Jonah Bobo. Playing their dad is legendary actor Tim Robbins. Playing the boy's sister Lisa is Kristen Stewart. Yes, you heard me correctly, as in Kristen Stewart. This was before Twilight. And of course, she had recently appeared in the suspense thriller Panic Room with Jodie Foster before this. Yes, and this also even features Derek Mears, who of course would appear in a couple horror movies, the Friday the 13th remake, as well as Hatchet 3. Yeah, don't mind me bringing that guy up for a family movie. He plays the leader of these beings called Zorgons, but anyway. Now, I'm going to try not to give the whole story away, so anyway, Walter and Danny don't get along with each other or with their cantankerous older sister Lisa. When their divorced father is away at work, and Lisa, whom he left in charge, is napping, Danny discovers an old space-themed game called Zathura. It was a board game just like Jumanji was. So he convinces Walter to play the game with him, the goal of which is to become the first player to reach the final space on the board. Each turn, a player turns a key and presses a button, causing the board to move the player's piece a random number of spaces and spit out an event card. When Danny's first turn causes a meteor shower inside the living room, they realize playing the game has altered reality. And soon they discover their house is now floating in space. Lisa, unaware of this, wakes up and begins preparing herself for a date that she was going to name, but is frozen stiff when another car turns the bathroom into a cryogenic chamber. So Walter concludes that the only way to end the game and return everything to normal is to win it. So they continue and must overcome dangers presented by the game card, including the appearance of a defective robot, which the robot is voiced by Frank Oz, who of course we heard as Yoda in Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith that same year. And passing too close to a sunlight plant, an attack on the house by a race of reptilian aliens called Zorgons. And of course, their leader is Derek Mears, this character. And another day he turns produces an astronaut who eliminates the house's heat sources. Well, he tells Walter to blow out the pilot line on the furnace, but he does not blow it out of fear of getting attacked by the robot. So the astronaut lures the Zorgon ship away by ejecting the boy's father's couch after setting it on fire. So Walter asks the astronaut to leave, but Danny chooses to let him stay. Well, Walter accuses Danny of cheating by supposedly moving his piece prematurely. But when Walter tries to move the piece back and takes his next turn, the game reacts as if he was cheating and ejects him from the house into the vacuum of space. But the astronaut retrieves him. Walter's next turn receives a card that allows him to make a wish, resulting in another falling out between the boys. So the astronaut warns him not to make a wish out of anger, so he's relieved to discover that Walter wished merely for an autographed football. And explains about everything. Wishing that his brother never existed and what have you. Soon Lisa awakes from her stasis and soon turns up the heat, causing the Zorgons to return and anchor their ships to the house. And soon Lisa discovers the predicament and high upstairs with her brothers and the astronaut, but realizes they left the game behind. So the astronaut uses the house's dumbwaiter to lower Danny to retrieve the game. Danny finds the game aboard one of the Zorgon ships, but is seen by them. So Walter uses a reprogram card he drew earlier to fix the malfunctioning robot, who attacks the Zorgons instead, and the aliens retreat. Now I'm going to try and finish this. I said I wasn't going to spoil everything. Well, not just yet, but I'm going to right now. So you got 5 seconds to stop this video before I finish this review, because I'm going to do the ending. Okay. Now, Walter receives another wish card after that. He uses it to bring back the astronaut's brother in gratitude of his help and support, causing a doppelganger of Danny to appear. The astronaut reveals he's actually a grown-up version of Walter and commends his younger self for making a better choice than he did 15 years ago of his timeline. And the astronaut and the alternate Danny merge with their counterparts as the future changes. The Zorgons return to the house with a large fleet intent on destroying it. So Danny makes a final move, landing on Zathura and wins, creating a black hole that sucks up the Zorgon fleet and the house. The siblings awaken in the house as it was before the brothers started the game. Just as their father arrives home, with their bond renewed, they promise to each other to not tell anyone about the game and their adventure. After they leave with their mother, Danny's bicycle, which had been orbiting their house, falls from the sky, and that's the end of Zathura. Anyway, now I will tell you that the film did get a good response from critics, well, more positive than a mix like Jumanji did. Unfortunately, the film was a slight commercial disappointment, so it was considered a failure. Yes. And soon it took a bigger hit when Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire opened the following weekend after it came out. Because this came out on November 11th of 2005. Well, anyway, I think Zathura is a pretty good movie. Would I recommend it? Sure, give it a try. If you like Jumanji, you'll definitely enjoy Zathura. It's just like Jumanji, but with a little intergalactic feel to it. Story was pretty good, and I like the cast as well. I will say Jon Favreau did a good job in directing this, so enough said. Give this a try. Now, tell me what you thought about Zathura in the comment section, and like the video and subscribe to my channel and be a part of the Big D Nation. Now, and if you would like to catch up, you can click the video in this corner to see my review of Jumanji. Join me tomorrow when I continue with the recent hit, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.